All right, welcome everybody to Tech Tuesday for May. Today what we're going to look at are some tips and tricks with OneNote. How many of you guys currently use OneNote? I shared the resources for you with that, but I am curious. And so if you are if you can find your participant window, at the very bottom of that, you should see green check mark, red X. Oh, excellent. Somebody doesn't use it. That's cool. So in the participant window where it looks like the people, you want to check nobody. Oh, it looks like 3 of my crew are not using it. 4. All right. So I'm going to clear that out. So 4 of you guys are not using it. So I'm going to clear that out, and then I'm going to ask another question. Do you guys use like Google Keep currently? Yes or no? Oh, Lynn, you use OneNote. Oh, that's awesome. Google Keep. Google Keep is an organizational tool that you can use to keep notes and make lists and checklists and things like that. And Jenny, you said you use Google Docs or Word documents. So I have one person that uses Google Keep. That's awesome. I am one of those people who is always trying to find something to keep myself together. And I am actually a Google girl. Jenny, yes, totally. I am with you. I'm always trying to find a better way to organize my life. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know if I ever get there. And so with that in mind, I have really been playing with OneNote. And one of the things that I've really found with OneNote is there's a lot of features, and it really kind of depends on how you're going to use it. There's a lot of features that I haven't even fully capitalized on yet, just because of just logistics. But I've been playing around with it more and more, and it is actually it's been a lot of fun. So a couple of things I want you guys to know. So all the resources are at bit.ly/TechTuesday OneNote, all one word, all lowercase. And obviously I copied that from something else. It's not Microsoft Meeting. That was last month. And OneNote can really organize your communication. And some of the things that it has going for it is it has a really awesome search capability. You can add tags. And so one of my biggest struggles when I'm trying to organize resources is, trying to figure out which folder to put it in, and then what if it really falls into 2 different locations? If I'm doing Microsoft, but it also talks about Google, well, which folder do I put it in? And so you have the ability to do tags, and so that's really powerful. A couple of the other things, do I want to click the link, the Tech Tuesday OneNote? You can click the link if you want. You can copy and paste the link, and here's the link again in your chat if you just wanna grab it that way. I just wanted to make sure that you had access to the resources for today. So one of the things that you can also do with OneNote is you can access it across platforms. And so there's an app you can use on iDevices, on Apple devices, you can use on Android, you can use on your laptop. So you have lots of different options. And that has been one of the more powerful things for me as I've been trying to find something that I really like, is that I can use it on my phone, and then I can use it on my iPad, and I can also use it on my computer. And so having that cross compatibility has been really powerful. So a couple more things before we totally get started is if you are looking at becoming a Microsoft Innovative Educator, you can get points for today's session by creating a free Microsoft account and then creating your account in the Microsoft Education community, and then you can redeem the code. And so that's just an opportunity. With 1,000 points, you can be a Microsoft Innovative Educator, and you have the ability to just access to all sorts of Microsoft training and resources. And it's just a really great opportunity if you are looking to learn more about Microsoft. And finally, the archive for today's session will be posted on YouTube. And so I'll send the link out to everybody that signed up, but I'll also post it. So the archive will be added to the resources, but it'll also be in this YouTube collection right here. So let's hop into OneNote. So actually we're in OneNote. And OneNote is one of those things that when I first started, I was like, this seems a little oddly organized. But then as I got more into it, it was like, oh, I really like how I can add layers. And so if you think in very linear manner, this is going to be a really excellent tool for you. So you'll notice that on the far left-hand side, I have Tech Tuesday and I have OneNote. Those are what they call sections. And if I want to add another section, I can just click at the plus at the bottom and I can add another section. It'll be named. And once I do that, you'll notice that the page next to it says untitled page. And then I can name that, and we are ready to roll. I can rearrange these sections very easily, hypothetically, by just dragging them. I can also recolor them. And so you'll notice that if I right click, I can do the section color. And so I can change this demo section to blue, and my page also turns to blue. And so as I go through, you'll see that all of my different sections. So very much looks like tabs or file folders. So once I'm in a section, I can then add additional pages. And so you can have a really elaborate organizational structure that is very useful. What I really like is when we're on the Home tab, looking across the top of the page, is I can add in tags. And so I can make it a priority. I can create tags if I want. And so I have these options here to say, okay, I want to remember this for my blog. Now, I actually have a tag on this page. And so when I'm searching in OneNote, I have, and you can do that with an easy Control F, I can look for those tags. And so that is a really powerful option that you have the ability to do that. And so that reminds me a lot of Digo and how they're structured. And so I'm really excited that you have. And then you can just right click and remove the tag if it's no longer relevant or it's not something you're going to use anymore. A couple of other things that happen with OneNote that have been really powerful as far as I'm concerned is their annotation capabilities. And so it's super easy to draw in OneNote, and it depends on what platform you're on. And so when I'm looking at I'm in online right now, and when I'm looking at this Tech Tuesday, and I'm going to pop over to Teams real quick because I've got that one open on my computer too, and it does take a couple seconds. So I'm going to insert, or I'm going to draw, I'm going to draw, and I'm going to click on the blue, and you'll notice that the pencil is here. And so I just drew a line. Now I'm going to pop over to OneNote on my desktop, and what you'll find is if I jump down to what is Microsoft Teams over here, and once it refreshes, oh look, my line on my computer updated. And so I drew OneNote Online is where I put the line, and OneNote on my computer updated. And so they do interact. The other really awesome thing is, like, I think it's kind of awesome, is so like here, if I want to draw with mouse or touch, I can go in and I have to click on this. And so this is on my computer, but now I can use my finger, and I have a touch screen. I can highlight just like, and so when I'm reading content, I can easily do that. And then when I want to go away from that, I just need to click on the arrow that says select objects or type text, and now I'm back into regular editing mode. The other cool thing is when I pop back over to the online version, and once that syncs, I will end up, there's my highlights. And so you have that. I could, and I didn't set you guys up today. Yes, it does. Karen, awesome question. I like that. Yes, it goes from online to, from on the computer to online too. So, and I could have had us collaborate. I could have made it so we could collaborate it on this document. There are different sharing capabilities, and I'll show you guys that. I did not have it so we could collaborate today, not because I don't like you, but just because it really wasn't, I just wasn't up to it. So that's, so the drawing is just huge. The other thing that is super fun is you can insert entire documents. You can insert entire files, and you can insert it as a printout. And so, for example, it has to be a Word or a PDF document at this time. But from my desktop, I'm going to grab this flyer and say, okay, and insert. So I have a PDF that was living on my desktop. And there we have it. There is the actual PDF of it, but then here is also the printout. And so I can actually insert. And so now the really fun thing is I can come back and I can say, you know, I want to edit this with you guys if I was going to share this with you, but I'm not. And I can say, we need to change this sentence, we need to change this sentence, and the price is wrong. And so I can do edits on here, directly on this printout. And so I'm really excited about that. So this is like a new thing. You guys are the first people I've gotten to show this to. So that is insert a file, and then we've said insert the file printout. So we've looked at insert briefly. I mean, so you can do a lot of the other insert functionality. Math is another really big thing that people use a lot of, is because the demo section for us, my poor OneNote is getting back to draw and say I want to not draw like that. In the math section, you'll notice that we have a whole math capability, and so I can actually draw using the math. And so if I come in here, I can go back, select the pen, select the color, and do 2 plus 2 equals X. And so now, all you guys following, or all you guys are blocking my window here. I can actually select it. And so if I click on the select button, and you can see that it identifies it. And then once I tap on and then over here, you can see that it's behind our images. But you can actually see that you have it's solved the equation. It's not solved the equation, but it's written the equation out in Ink2Math. And then I can solve for it. I can graph both sides. And this isn't a very hard equation, obviously, but I can graph it in 2D. Hypothetically. There it is. And I can grab that and drag it over. And so I can actually put that into my, onto my document if I wanted to. And then I could also do it in, I could just grab, I could do both sides or one side. So that's an option. So the math is super powerful, especially if, you know, because it's hard to collaborate on that and to have the online capabilities. So a couple of other things. So that was math. A lot of people really do love the emojis. And I'm not sure why we are grayed out now. Who knows? You can also insert forms. And so if you're familiar with Google Forms, you can also use Microsoft Forms are very similar. And so you can insert forms. You can also insert stickers. And so these have all sorts of educational and humorous stickers that you can utilize. So this is one of the really cool resources, I think, when you're looking at all of the functionality that you have going on. So we've touched base on draw. The last thing I want to touch base on here is what you can do with the view. And so one of the really powerful features is Immersive Reader. And what that gives us is, it gives us the ability to have the page be read aloud to us. And so at the very bottom of the page, you'll see that we have the play button.
Microsoft OneNote training. Thorough set of videos and articles to get started using OneNote. OneNote Ninja Wakelet Collection.
And you can change the voice setting, and so you can have it be male or female. You can change the speed, and so you have the capability to have it go slower or faster. And then the other thing that you can do with it is you can set up grammar options. And so you have the ability to say if you want it to note parts of speech. So we can say nouns and verbs. So you'll notice that our nouns are pink, our verbs are red, and so it'll go through and note all that. I wanted to show you guys a couple of more interactive pages here. And so, you know, we talk about digital inking and all of the collaboration capabilities there. You can copy and paste in text. And so here are some markup samples that Microsoft has provided. You can see here that we've noted personification is green, repetition is pink, metaphors are that blue teal, and yellow is imagery. And so as we go through, you can see all of these markup samples. And so you're taking text, but now you're also using the drawing skills to be able to, and so like here's an image that was placed in, now we've added in the blood flow. So here are some markup samples. And I'll add those to our resources so you can go back and reflect on them. Here is one of my favorite samples where they've gone in and, you know, these are notes. These are regular notes that you would have seen in your textbook or in your regular notebook. And so being able to have that. I love making 12 because this is an example of how many ways you can make 12. And so having all that in one spot. And then finally, the sketch examples. And these were kind of fun too because they've combined, basically they've created an interactive document. And so we're watching a video, but then below we have all of these questions and we can answer these questions based on what we've learned from the video. And so these are just some different examples of how you can, how versatile this is. I think one of my favorite, when I really first decided that, you know, OneNote could be something I would really like, I was conducting a training and it wasn't on OneNote. and the participant had a notebook and a tablet and a pen, and he had copied and pasted my instructional resources into OneNote, and then he was taking his notes and highlighting and adding annotations as we went through. And it was really amazing to watch what he was doing with, he took my content and made it useful for himself. And so that was really powerful. So this is basically, I'm going to turn off our grammar options, and one more thing on Immersive Reader. You can translate, but you also have the ability for line focus. If we turn on line focus, it's going to narrow us down. So this is 3 lines, this is 1 line. And so if you really have struggle reading the content, you can actually narrow it down to that. So that is under View Immersive Reader. So you have options for that too. So those are just a couple of the kind of things that you can do with this. And I wanted to show you a couple of resources that I've been using extensively, because I tend to jump right in and use it, and then I'm like, wait, how do I do this or how do I do that? And so these Microsoft offers amazing trainings. And so this OneNote training is awesome because you get a short little video, and it kind of gives you the background of what it is, but then you get a couple of articles or more resources, and then you can, so this is a quick start. You could go from here. This is awesome. But you can also, if you want to learn more about how to take notes, how to format notes, the best ways to draw and sketch, all of that, you can go in and get more in depth. So these OneNote video trainings are really excellent. And then as the Microsoft Innovative Educators are amazing people, and they put together a number of different resources. And this is a OneNote Ninja PD collection. And there is so much here that you can use. And so like OneNote Class Notebook, if you are looking for a collaborative document to use with your staff, if you're looking for something that you want to use with your team, because how the staff notebook works, the class or staff notebooks work, is as the organizer, you share it out, and you have content that only you can control. There's content that everybody can collaborate on, and then finally there's content that is only available between you and the individual team member. So it's a really great resource. Here's the staff notebook info. So class notebook and staff notebook are very similar. But these resources, especially if you are developing training for your own staff or looking for more resources like that, these are both really going to be useful. The Microsoft training is awesome because it's so short and to the point that you can get in and get out really quickly. So the last thing I want to show you is, what if I wanted to share this content with you guys? How do I go about doing that? And so that is under File, Share. And then I'm going to say share with people. And at this point, I have the capability to determine where it goes. And so the people in Black Hills Special Services Cooperative, those people are in my domain. And so that would be anybody that I work with, basically. Anyone with the link is how I've shared content with you today. There is the ability to say allow editing or not allow editing. And so if I leave it as allow editing, then anybody who has access with the link can do that. And then the other thing that you'll notice is we have an expiration date. Our organization's policy requires that our link expires in 360 days. Your organization may have different policies, and so it's just something to pay attention to, because if you're sharing this and you want it to be something that's available outside of your domain, and it expires in a week and you want it to be there in a month, it's something that would be good to know. Then once you do that, you can copy the link, or else you can send the link in Outlook, and you're good to go. So that is a really super fast run through of OneNote and the resources that you have access to. I'm going to add a couple more things to the OneNote resources here, just because there's a couple more training resources that you may find useful. You guys have any questions as we wrap up the session? All right, well, thank you so much. Do watch for the archive. I'll send out an email with that. And watch for the new Tech Tuesdays, which will be launched in September. And so, oh, Karen, yes, I definitely think a bullet journal. You know, I was just reading a book about that. I'm so glad you brought that up. That is such a good idea. I love that. So a bullet journal would be super fun. Thank you for sharing that. So yes, lots of really cool ideas to use it to organize your life. So have a great afternoon and join us again in September. We'll be kicking off the 2019-20 Tech Tuesdays.